What's happening? What's happening? Listen, just finished watching the Man City game against Newcastle. And you know what, yeah? I have to be honest. Boy, I ain't looking forward to this game on the weekend, man. I'll be honest. Obviously, we're going to get into Michael Carrick in a bit, but City just beating Newcastle 2-0. A late goal from Cherky, another goal from Anton Semenyo, and at this moment in time, man, Semenyo is proving to be quite the signing, man. So, yeah, this game on the weekend, Manchester Derby, I have to be honest, man. I'm not looking forward to it, but yeah, it is what it is, man. And I think with City, man, City have just got some. They've got a lot of players, man. Strength and depth. You think of Ryan Nuri coming off the bench. You're thinking they're talking of Doku. Semenyo's there now. Cherky come on. For Foden. They got Marmoush to come back as well. Listen, man, they've got a lot of strength and depth, man. And again, the centre back pairing of Kusanov and is it Max Elaine? I think you have to say, man, they're looking decent. And again, it's still a long way to go, but yeah, they've got a lot of strength and depth, man. Big up to Babs One Diva, big up to Foxy Danny, big up to Christopher McGrath as well. Big up yourselves, guys, each and every time. And as always, make sure, guys, we are smashing the like button and make sure we're subbing to the channel if we're new and make sure we're sharing the channel as well. Guys, I believe I'm 2 away from 1.9k. So again, if you're new in here and you're enjoying the content, make sure you smash the like and make sure you sub to the channel, guys, as well. So listen, man, I think you can tell from my face, yeah, I'm in good spirits, guys. I have to say I'm in good spirits because the fact that, Ineos, I think let's go back to the Ruben Amorim sacking, yeah, because for me, Amorim should have been sacked last season. The fact that he was still in charge for this amount of time and got, 20 games? And then obviously his comments in the post-match press conference, which kind of sealed his fate. For me, it did take long for United to get rid of him. But it's done now, so we can move on. And, part of me was thinking the next appointment, in terms of an interim, it needs to be a smart signing, in terms of I'm sick of seeing Manchester United, throughout the years of just having too many players that are more athletes than proper ball players, And I think the fact that they've gone for Carrick and it was between Carrick and Solskjaer, there was talk about Van Nistelrooy as well, but it was between Carrick and Solskjaer. And the fact that Solskjaer was even being mentioned was a problem, and the fact that it was going to be Solskjaer coming in and Carrick being his number 2. The very fact that Carrick had his own interview, and, it's quite obvious that Carrick did impress them a lot. And now Carrick's been installed as the new Manchester United interim manager till the end of the season. And you know what it is for me, yeah? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, is my team now on its way back? I don't want to jump the gun, but part of me is thinking, you know what? There's something in it, there's something to look forward to because Ineos could have easily, brought in Solskjaer for the feel-good factor. But the fact that they've actually gone to Michael Carrick, and as I said yesterday, guys, yeah, with Michael Carrick, for me, yeah, the reason I wanted Michael Carrick at Manchester United is purely because if you look at the kind of player that Carrick was, he was a deep line midfielder that could dictate the game, comfortable in possession, very technical. So you can only imagine that if you're getting a Carrick to the club, I'm positive that we're going to see some good football. So again, Carrick obviously was he like the caretaker a couple of years back? I can't remember when it was, what period it was. It must have been when was it when Mourinho got sacked, or was it Mourinho got sacked or Solskjaer got sacked? I think Carrick come in for a couple of games, and the fact that they've actually gone back to Carrick rather than Solskjaer. Listen, man, I have to say, yeah, this is a massive positive for me because too many times, man, Ineos have made the wrong mistakes for me, and not sacking Amorim early, giving Ten Hag another more or less half a season, giving Ten Hag more games when he should have been sacked after the previous season. And then now you're thinking of them hiring Carrick to the end of the season. It's a smart signing, man. And obviously, end of the season, hopefully Carrick can get us into Champions League football. And then this is when we can start, identifying another coach that takes this team on, and the Carrick signing, man, the Carrick appointment, man, is great news, man. And as I said, man, I didn't see it coming because I've been watching this club for so many years and they continuously make the wrong mistakes, And I have to say now, this is probably the first appointment in terms of management since Louis van Gaal for me that I'm 100% with. And again, I don't want to jump the gun because Carrick's obviously got to come in. He's got to get this team playing. He's got to still pick the right players for me as well. But the very fact that Ineos have chosen him, they've definitely seen something in Carrick's character and the fact that Carrick's a good coach as well. So, yeah, listen, there's a lot of positives to be optimistic for, But guys, let me know what you think of the Carrick appointment, because I'm going to go through some of the comments that Carrick has done. I think it might have been on Rio Ferdinand's podcast, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Michael Carrick, because as I said, man, I think this is a massive plus for me, Let me go through the comments after. I'm going to go through some of the comments. Guys, big up yourselves. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're subbing to the channel if you're new in here as well. As I said, we are too short of 1.9k. So again, if you smash the like button and sub to the channel, help me reach that 1.9k milestone and then on to 2k. Yeah, Christopher McGrath says 2-0 Man City win. I mean, Carrick's first game in charge, man. I think it's not an easy game, but what I would say, Manchester derby, form goes out the window. So it's one of them things where, we have to just see what team he picks, how he sets the team up, and then we can go from there. But I think definitely City are the favourites. Obviously City winning 2-0 tonight. And they'll be going into that game full of confidence, knowing that they can put the pressure onto Arsenal as well. So, yeah, I think City will be the favourites. But in the Manchester derby, anything can happen, especially at Old Trafford as well. Carrick has intelligence and will keep his north and south closed. Yeah, big up, man. Big up to Alec Nar as well. Big up for coming through. Yeah, this will be a turnaround for Man United for sure. Well, listen, would hope so. Would hope so. Big up to Foxy Danny. Yeah, listen, I think 100% for me, this is a good appointment, man. I was worried it was going to be Solskjaer because Solskjaer's been sacked by this club already. And the only reason they would have brought him back is really to become a yes man. But again, Man United are at a phase right now with the younger players we've got. Boy, Marseille battered one team 9-0. Greenwood got a hat-trick. Crazy. So Man United are at a point right now where they've got a lot of younger players that need nurturing. The likes of Kobe, the likes of Lenny Yoro, the likes of Xerxes, the likes of Ahmad, and then a few younger players coming through as well. So the fact they brought in Carrick is a good sign because, been hearing Carrick's a very good coach, and what I like about Carrick is his temperament as a manager. And I definitely do think that he's definitely gonna bring something to this club, man. So yeah, man, it's a great signing. And again, it's early days, but Carrick for me needs to be getting Champions League football as a must. I don't think it's impossible. One game a week. This is the only thing United got to play for. You've got a big squad as well. So as long as he plays, the right players and plays a system that gets this team thriving, I'm optimistic, man. 100%. I'm optimistic. So, yeah, man, we'll have to wait and see, man. But we're gonna get into some of the comments in a bit, and we're gonna get into some of the players as well. That what's this I just see there? Hey, Barcelona just brought back João Cancelo. Boy, it's clever signing, man. Cancelo's just gone back to Barca from Al Hilal. That will improve that will add depth to their fullbacks as well. Big up to Fitz. Big up, my guy. Big up. Gav, you got Carrick happy days now. Let's see where he takes Man U and the best players on the pitch. Yeah, listen, this is definitely what needs to happen for me. And again, the very fact that Carrick has had his comments to say about Lenny Yoro, about Kobe Mainu, this is why for me, Carrick needed to be the man in charge because he just understands, he just gets it. Ruben Amorim just didn't get it. Ruben Amorim was too busy trying to install his philosophy or the way he plays on the team rather than the other way around. As a coach, and the fact of the matter is, Carrick's been brought in as a head coach, which is what Ruben Amorim was anyway. So the fact that Amorim had the cheek to say that he was a manager, but yet Carrick's coming as a coach, again, he's just trying to pull the wool over our eyes because he's meant to be a coach, man. So don't believe anyone that says Ruben Amorim was a manager. I called him a manager because quite clearly he wasn't a coach that was coaching his players to get better. So yeah, let's see, man. Let me see. So Damon Gosling says, terrible appointment. I disagree, man. I disagree. And Damon, if you're still in the chat, who would you have wanted then? Would you have wanted Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Because for me, Solskjaer should never have been ahead of Carrick in the first place. And the fact that Ineos have actually seen sense, it's good news, man. So yeah, let me know who you think should have been in charge as interim. Because the names that were being floated about was Carrick, Solskjaer, Van Nistelrooy, all ex-Man United players. Xavi was never really a possibility because Xavi's a guy that's been at Barcelona. So why would he come to Man United on an interim basis? So yeah, let me know who you think should have been the appointment. So should have had Ollie. He knows the club. Carrick going, come and play a free at the back. Clueless Football Club is everyone ready to finish 16th. So let's break this down, yeah. So Damien says he should have had Ollie. He knows the club, right? So Carrick knows the club, so we can eradicate that one out. So he's going to come and play a free at the back. No, he's not. This is the thing about Carrick, yeah. Carrick is a four at the back manager anyway, yeah. He might have played a couple of games free at the back with Middlesbrough, but he's notoriously a four at the back manager. So I don't know why people are thinking he's going to play a free at the back. Not to mention, Michael Carrick understands, the kind of football that this club should be playing. So I guarantee you now, Michael Carrick is not going to come and play a free at the back at this club. And again, do you really think Michael Carrick has been living under a rock? Michael Carrick has seen the problems with this club in a free at the back. So why is he now going to come to Manchester United and decide to do the same thing that Ruben Amorim was doing? He's not going to do that. So again, that's wrong. Again, we're not going to finish 16th. We're not going to finish 16th. Like, I think people need to kind of, be positive about, the appointment that Ineos have made. Again, you can be disappointed or upset or annoyed with Ineos because they haven't been great in terms of sacking Amorim too late, giving Ten Hag, the beginning of the season, last season, and other stuff people might want to complain about. But I'm not going to accept that people think that Ollie should have been here ahead of Carrick. Man United need a coach, and it's quite clear that Carrick's a coach and Ollie isn't, So, yeah, definitely, man, I'm happy with the Carrick appointment. Would you consider that the rumours might be true? What are the rumours? What are the rumours? And for Ollie getting sacked at this club, Carrick got sacked at Middlesbrough. Yeah, but again, Solskjaer got Cardiff relegated. So what are we doing here? Yeah, Carrick did get sacked at Middlesbrough, but go and watch how Middlesbrough were playing. Look at the players that he brought through as well. So again, we can do this. We can do this whole Ollie or Carrick. Carrick's been chosen, yeah, and Carrick's been chosen because he's a coach. Man United need a coach to get these players better. So the appointment for me, I haven't got a problem with it, man. It's definitely been a very good appointment. What do you think about Fernandes maybe leaving United because he's the only player who gives structure to the squad and he stayed loyal for so long? Again, big up to saving Pat for Palestine, yeah? But biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard. Biggest load of nonsense, yeah? Again, this whole Bruno Fernandes loving needs to stop, you know? The fact that Bruno's thinking about leaving, thank God. Let's get him out as quick as possible. Yeah, because this is a player that's been given the keys to the kingdom at Old Trafford. And whether people want to rate him because of his GA, there's no denying the fact that since Bruno's become captain of this club, since he's been allowed to do whatever he wants, Manchester United have recorded their lowest ever finishes and their worst performances. So again, people that wanna hail up Bruno Fernandes, listen. If Bruno wants to go, let him go. He has to go. This should be his last season anyway. You know, I'm hopeful that he goes in January, but I don't think it's going to happen. But it's going to show me what Carrick is really on, which I'm going to get into the comments in a bit. Yeah. But again, people that are giving Bruno Fernandes a loving, listen, not on this channel, man. He's a player that I don't care about numbers. I don't care about GA. I look at performances. And Bruno, for me, I can't tell you one top performance he's put in against a top team. You know, flat track bully against the lower teams, stacking up the GA. But I can't tell you a top performance he's put in as a Manchester United captain and player against the top teams. You know, as I said, he's always going to get GA, but it's not a surprise because he's on every set piece, more or less. He plays every minute of every game. You know, he's the go-to guy in terms of how the team's been structured around him. And the quicker that he moves on, the quicker that the club get rid of him, the better the team would be. There's a reason why Cunha's not shining in this team. It's because you got two ball-dominant players in Bruno and Cunha, and something has to give. The fact that Cunha's the new signing, it's time for Bruno to move on and let other players play, man. It's that simple. Let's see. Okay, so you wanted to stay with Amorim. I never wanted him to get sacked. Again, this whole Ruben Amorim staying, man. I mean, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I mean, you know, there's common sense, yeah, and then there's just stupidity for me because a manager that has failed as badly as he has done, you know, this is a manager that has less than a 40% win rate, yeah. Just that alone, why are we saying that Ruben Amorim deserved to stay? What did Ruben Amorim do at Manchester United that deserved him to stay? Because if people are going to start saying he left Man United in 4 points off a top four before he got sacked, Man United were 4 points off a top four before he arrived. So again, I need to understand what is it that Ruben Amorim has over people to make people think that he deserved to stay. Like, doesn't make sense to me, you know. As I said, and I'll keep saying this, yeah, Man United finished 15th last season under Ruben Amorim's tenure. They got beat in the Europa League final against Tottenham Hotspur, who don't win trophies, last season. You know, we got beat by Grimsby Town. Getting beat by Grimsby Town alone should have been the reason why he got sacked. So all this Ruben Amorim deserved to stay, I don't get it. And then people might keep saying he deserved more players, he deserved this, he deserved this, he deserved that, yeah? Now, again, you know, whether people think it's his players or not, again, all the players that have came in are club signings. Ruben Amorim was never going to get his own players, regardless of what people think. He was never going to come into the club and get his own players. The last person that it happened to was Erik ten Hag, and look at how we're paying for it right now. So to think that Amorim never got his players and people are using that as an excuse to keep Amorim is laughable, you know. Not to mention that you had the likes of Mourinho, for me, who had to go. This is a guy that won 2 trophies. You know, even Ten Hag, as bad as he was, you know, won trophies. Van Gaal won a trophy, yeah. But yet we're meant to believe that Ruben Amorim was the truth. Based off of what? He's the worst manager that I've seen at this club, no doubt. You know, I actually said to you guys as well, and you guys remember this, I'll go along and say he's the worst manager in the league, you know. And again, I compared the team at the bottom of the league, Rob Edwards. You know, Rob Edwards has got a Wolves team that have been struggling, and he rocks up and draws with Manchester United at Old Trafford. That's the difference. So, yeah, this Amarim and Bruno loving, the fact that Amarim's gone, Bruno can go and follow him. You know what I mean? And the quicker you get those two at the club, along with Dallo, and get this Portuguese thing at the club, the better. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. Was Carrick given the role based on substance or convenience? Substance, 100% substance. I think people need to realize, yeah, that the reason this is a massive appointment is because this could be the first time in a while that we're actually looking to go back to playing some proper football. Because the last proper football that we were playing was under Van Gaal. Because since Van Gaal got sacked, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ten Hag, Amarim, these guys have never played proper football. Solskjaer's one was a bit different because he let the players play, yeah. And even though the football wasn't great, they just had better individuals than what United have now. So that was different. But the Mourinhos, the Amarims, the Ten Hags, these guys, the football's been poor. So the fact that Carrick's been appointed, you know, we can only hope that he's going to come in and looking at the player that he was, he's going to get this team playing. And the positive for me, and I'm not going to jump the gun again, but Bruno Fernandes, his days have to be numbered now. And I'm looking at Carrick, yeah, and Carrick's comments on Kobe, which I'm going to go on to quickly now, yeah. So, again, if anyone hasn't seen Carrick's comments on Kobe, yeah, this is why I believe if Carrick is true to his word, we should really see Kobe coming into his own now and play in a position that many might not have thought, yeah? So, obviously, Carrick on Kobe. What I've done, guys, I've just put a couple of notes down just to pinpoint some of the things that stood out for me, yeah? So, obviously, Michael Carrick says Kobe's a breath of fresh air, yeah? So, he says, a player United should build around. He has a massive future and an attacking role in the team. So, immediately, if he's saying that he sees Kobe as an attacker and not as a deep line holding midfielder, the only position I'm looking at now where Kobe could probably feature in this Man United team in the 4-2-3-1 is as a number 10. And again, Kobe for me should be in the team because Kobe's a serious talent. But I would have thought Kobe next to a Casemiro and an Ahmad in a 10 or a Xerxes or a Cunha, if you wanted to play them in there, would have been the way going forward. Yeah. The fact that Carrick has said he needs to be playing further forward in the attack, I can only imagine he's looking at Kobe as playing as a 10 or maybe on the left. Who knows? Yeah. A player that the team that United should be building around. Again, this is a manager that's come in and has identified an academy prospect, you know, that was regarded as one of the best up-and-coming players in the country. You know, he's saying that the club should be built around. Again, this is a manager that understands the philosophy of the club, the youth, courage, and success. Yeah. Then he says Mainu's ability to take the ball, play it forward, and commit people. If you've got it, you've got it, and he's shown he's got it. Yeah. That was a key comment for me. Yeah, because when he said that Kobe can play the ball forward and commit people, that's the role of an attacker. So just based on Carrick's comments there, I'm thinking that Carrick might be playing Kobe as a 10 or on the left. Because if you're going to drive with the ball, you know, and commit people, you know, they're in the attacking part of the pitch. So if we're thinking that he's going to play a 4-2-3-1, you know, I'm looking at other players playing slightly deeper and then Kobe maybe in the 10. So that was a positive comment that Carrick has said for me. And then, you know, he says having a talent like Kobe Mainoo who has come through the academy is a massive asset that the club should support and build around. And again, this is a guy that understands the youth. This is a guy that wants to play the youth, regardless if his job might be under pressure or not. So yeah, listen, I'm definitely positive of this appointment, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what team he picks because. Again, we're gonna do the preview on Friday anyway, the match preview for the game against Man City. But his first team selection, I'll be interested to see what happens because Embuemo, Ahmad are back. You know, they are match fit as well because they've been playing at AFCON. And if you're thinking of the 4-2-3-1, for me, Ahmad and Embuemo, in considering how the team been performing, have to come straight into the team, which means it's going to directly impact Bruno, Cunha, Mason Mount. So again, I want to see what Carrick does, because the way Carrick's talking about Kobe, I'm definitely assuming Kobe's starting, and whether Kobe starts in the 10 or starts, slightly deeper, I don't know. But if he starts slightly deeper, it will kind of contradict what Carrick said. So again, I'm looking forward to his team selection because I think there's going to be a few surprises. Cunha, again, hasn't been great. Is there a possibility where Cunha gets dropped under Michael Carrick? Because as we know, Michael Carrick likes he likes players to keep the ball. And you've got two players in Bruno and Cunha who are both the wrong side of keeping the ball, really, But you've got one player that's been made the captain, one player that was the summer signing. So I wonder what Carrick's going to do, man. But I'm looking forward to it because between Cunha, Bruno, Ahmad Embuemo, Mason Mount, at least 2 or 3 of them are going to be on the bench. So let's see what Carrick does, man. But as I said, man, great appointment. I've also heard that we are linked with Diego Simeone. Now he's being sacked. Simeone ain't been sacked. Who said that he's been sacked? Is that news or is that just made up? And again, Manchester United won't go for Diego Simeone. It's the same reason they won't go for Antonio Conte. And again, I don't want Conte or Simeone at Manchester United because these two managers are good managers, yeah. But I want to see good football because we've been starved as a fan base, yeah, of the football that Man United have been dishing up. So just go and get me a coach that wants to improve these players that we've got and play a style of play, that the players are going to enjoy. So the likes of Simeone and Conte are not coming to Manchester United, Maybe an Arsenal could do with him because them guys are winners. So when Arteta fails again, maybe they might be in for him. So also another team in the league would consider having Carrick as their manager. So why is he good enough for United? Employ mediocre, become mediocre. Again, I disagree with that because you have to understand that Carrick is an interim. Carrick's taking the job to the end of the season. He's not being installed as the permanent manager. So if you want to get someone, that can, bring a feel-good factor to the club, coach these players to get better, this is where you go. Because if you're trying to say that Man United should have gone for a Luis Enrique or, one of the top managers in the world right now, that was never a possibility. Not now, anyway. Because those managers would want to see what United do come this season. Because, again, these managers are used to playing in Champions League. So, or they might want Champions League football. So that'll be at the back of their mind in terms of what Man United do this season. So the fact that Carrick's been brought in, as I said, just based on the fact that he's a good coach, and he's been here already, these are the positive signs. So we've become mediocre under Amorim, mediocre under Ten Hag. So really, I don't really want to be hearing that we've employed mediocre. If you can't see that Carrick is an up and coming coach, and he's definitely got positives in his column to improve this team, then I think it's just moaning for moaning's sake. You know what I mean? And it's one of them things where the fact that Amorim was sacked should have been done last season. Big up to Foxy Danny. Big up each and every time for becoming a supporter. Big up. 3-month supporter. Big up. Do you think Carrick will change the formation? So what was Fletcher playing? Fletcher was playing a 4-2-3-1. You know what? I think Carrick comes in and plays the same formation, if I'm honest. He could play a 4-3-3, but, the 4-2-3-1, which allows you to have the number 10, and the fact that he's saying, Kobe needs to be playing high up the pitch. If Kobe's playing in the 10, that's high up the pitch. if he's playing in a 4-3-3, then he'll play left side of a three or right side of a three, and he can be slightly more attacking. But the way Carrick's talking about Kobe in terms of he's very much attack minded, you know, you have to believe he's identifying Kobe as a number 10. You know, so I think that's one to watch out for. And I'll be happy if that happens, if I'm honest, because the reason I didn't mention Kobe as a 10 is because the amount of players that can play there. But if he's looking at Kobe as a 10, I mean, how can you not be excited with that? But yeah, big up to Foxy Danny anyway. Yes, Gav, wish all is well. What's your thought on Carrick's style of play? Yeah, big up, man. Big up. Thoughts on his style of play? Listen, we've been starved of good football, you know, from we've been starved of good football from Amarim and from Ten Hag. And the main thing for me is not to focus too much on the style of play. I'm looking more at the fact that Carrick was a top midfielder. And usually, if you're a top midfielder and you're a top player, yeah, you usually have an insight onto what kind of players that you want to figure into your team, you know. And that's what I'm banking on. You know, again, it's early days because it's one of them things for me where whenever a manager comes to the club, I'm always thinking this could be the manager that drops Bruno Fernandes, because I don't think people understand how much of a detriment Bruno is to the club. Yeah, and I don't care what anyone wants to say about it. He's a massive detriment to this club, you know, if you're putting his GA to the side. But for me, whenever a manager comes in, I always look at the players they favour. And, you know, if he comes in and Bruno doesn't start or Bruno is taken off to give other players a chance, I think we could be onto something. But if Carrick comes in and does the same thing that a lot of these other managers have done in terms of playing the same old players, then this is where the issues are going to start for me. But again, I'm looking at Carrick, the player, and I can only imagine that he's going to play the best players, the likes of Kobe. Sorry, the likes of Kobe, the likes of Xerxes, the likes of Ahmad, you know, the Lenny Yoros, the Heavens, you know, those kind of players. And if he does that, then as I said, man, I'm positive, man. And again, if we look at some of the younger players coming through as well, the likes of Shea Lacey, JJ Gabriel, Sekou Kone, who should be getting more game time, and there might be a few others as well. Listen, man, maybe Carrick could be the guy before the guy, and if he is that, then it's a good appointment, man. And Carrick's not a back three manager. I don't know where that's coming from. Like, that's nonsense. He's not a back three manager. The thing is, being a back three manager and playing a back three is different. There was times he played a back three with Middlesbrough, but he doesn't predominantly play a back three. I'm not sure where that's coming from. And again, I'll mention it one more time, yeah? The fact that he's definitely been having eyes on Manchester United in terms of the back three under Amarim. Do you really think Carrick's going to come to Manchester United, you know, how bad they've been, and come here and play a back three? He's not going to do that. It wouldn't make any sense. So, yeah, if anyone's thinking he's going to play a back three, there's no possibility of him playing a back three. I can assure you of that. I can assure you. Big up to Kim Denseje. Big up for coming through. Eric Gomez says, Carrick or Ollie? 100% Carrick, man. 100. Yeah, big up, man. Guys, make sure we're smashing the likes. Make sure we're subbing to the channel. We've only got 8 likes on there, and there's 15 of you, sorry, at the moment watching. So yeah, make sure you're smashing the likes, guys. Make sure you're subbing as well and help this channel to grow. I didn't want Kobe to go. I think he's the future. Yeah, but again, big up yourself to one there or less, yeah? Big up. If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, or even from the start of the summer, again, anyone that's been watching it will tell you, yeah? I said Kobe was never leaving Manchester United. It was never going to happen. And unfortunately, yeah, it should never be this, yeah? But when Kobe's entourage come out and said to the club, to Ineos, that Kobe wants to go on loan, maybe a permanent, that was never going to happen. It was more or less his entourage, letting Ineos know you've either got to pick him or you got to pick Amarim. And it's unfortunate that it has to come to that, yeah, because it should never be manager versus player. It should never come to that. But the fact that Kobe come through the youth, England international, meant to be one of the big stars of English football, and you got Ruben Amorim that's just come in and just sidelined him straight away. This is why his entourage had to do what they did. And it was always going to come down to a Kobe versus the manager. And it's fair to say that Kobe won that battle, which, I'm not surprised he did. Because I always said that Kobe was never leaving. You don't bring through a guy that's come through the youth academy, that has shown that he's got the potential to be, a future star for club and country. And then all of a sudden you bring a guy that plays a different system, which they was aware of. But the fact that he wasn't even using Kobe a lot and then started criticising the youth, it was never going to work. So the fact that Carrick's come out and Carrick has, he's held up Kobe Minu. Again, Carrick just understands. And this is why Amarim was never a manager for Manchester United. It's that simple, man. I think Kobe will be dropped and be a sub for balanced football second half. I disagree. Again, if you haven't seen the comments by Carrick, then that's just telling you all you need to know. How much Carrick rates him. And let's not forget as well, Carrick didn't have Kobe Minu when Carrick took charge at Manchester United. And Carrick understands how important the youth is. So, yeah, Kobe's not going to be dropped. There will be rotation, of course. But the fact that he's saying Kobe is an attacker and he's saying the club needs to be built around Kobe, I don't know why you're thinking that Kobe's going to be dropped. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Southgate joining? It's not going to happen. Man United won't employ Gareth Southgate. I don't know why people are like, people need to use their brains, man. Like, use your brain. Don't listen to a lot of these other channels, man, that are just talking nonsense for the sake of it. Why would Manchester United hire Gareth Southgate? Why? I know people are going to start saying that Carrick's got Southgate's number 2, etc. Yeah, Man United are not going to hire Gareth Southgate, man. Like, it doesn't make sense. When you think of all the managers that are available that are miles better than Southgate, why would you go and hire Southgate risking the backlash of the fans? Doesn't make sense. So people think that Southgate is coming to United. It's just like, give your head a wobble, man, and just think properly. Why would Man United go and hire Southgate when you're potentially going to have De Zerbi, Luis Enrique, Xavi, Glasner, Iraola? It's probably a few I've missed out. You've got all them managers available, and you think Man United are going to go and get Gareth Southgate. It's not going to happen, is it? Let's just be serious. Back three was never the problem. It's the players are mostly bang average. Again, the back three system isn't a problem. The problem was Amarim's deployment of players. Because I don't care what anyone wants to say, yeah? The very fact that he chose to play Amad Diallo as a wing-back, he should have been sacked for that alone. So the back three wasn't the problem. It was how we deployed the players in certain positions. And the thing is, yeah, if you're going to play this back three system, yeah, the fact that he had the cheek to play Mbeumo as a right 10, Cunha in the 9 at times, and Amad at wing-back, when people keep saying that the three wasn't the problem, yeah, I agree. But you have to look at the way the manager puts certain players into certain positions. For that alone, that's where the problem is. Because you can't tell me that the back three wasn't working because of the players because the players are bang average. What you're doing is letting Amarim get away with murder. The facts are, no one told him to play Amad at wing-back. No one told him to play Mbeumo as a right 10. No one told him to play Cunha in the 9. Kobe Minu in that system wasn't a 2 in midfield player. Bruno Fernandes, as much as I don't rate him, wasn't a player to play in the 2 in midfield. He also wasn't a player to play as a left 10. So he didn't figure in this team in the first place. Yeah? So I disagree, Ryan, with the fact that mostly the players are bang average. Because if these players are bang average, Man United wouldn't be in 6th place or 7th place right now. Because there isn't one game that Amorim has done to win Man United games. He hasn't. The players have got him over the line. So if we're saying these players are bang average, I disagree. There's players in there that aren't good enough. The likes of Luke Shaw, the likes of Dallo, the likes of Ugarte, the likes of Mason Mount. You know, if you want to put Bruno in there as well. These players aren't good enough. But they're a lot better than what they were showing. So, yeah. Every manager since Fergie played a back four, apart from Amrim, they all got sacked. Again, this is nonsense, yeah? And I'll tell you why this is nonsense, yeah? Because Mourinho played a back four. Van Gaal played a back four. Ten Hag played a back four, yeah? So first things first, yeah? Are you trying to tell me the fact that those managers got sacked playing a back four, we can never go back to a back four? Is that what you're telling me? Because if that's the case, yeah, that's just nonsense, yeah? Because I've never heard where because a manager's been sacked playing a back four, all of a sudden we can't play a back four anymore. I've never heard such rubbish, yeah? And what we need to realize as well is that if you go back to Ten Hag, yeah, where Ten Hag got it all wrong is, again, the same way Amorim got it wrong. When you start investing in certain players that are not good enough, why are we surprised? Because the very fact that Ten Hag had the cheek to play a front three of Marcus Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund, yeah? At what point do you think that's ever going to work as a front three? Why is it that Ollie can play Greenwood, Martial and Rashford and it works, but Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund doesn't work? I'll tell you why it doesn't work. Because you've got 2 out of the 3 that are shit in Højlund and Garnacho, and Marcus Rashford is just a good player, not special. You look at Martial, Greenwood and Rashford, yeah? Martial was a top quality player that unfortunately injuries killed his career, but he was unselfish. Greenwood was a generational talent, and Marcus Rashford thrived with the fact that you had an unselfish Martial and they all linked well. That is why that 3 worked. But the very fact that Ten Hag played those 3 in Garnacho, Højlund and Rashford and played Bruno as the 10, why do we think it's not? Of course that's going to fail. Because you've got no ball retention players in there in the first place. And these are the kind of simple things that a Michael Carrick, for me, will just identify and not do. Because Carrick was a ball player. So to say that every manager's been sacked playing the back four, like, so what? What's that meant to mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The facts are the back three wasn't conducive to the players that we had. It's that simple. Because if you're going to play a back three, it just means that Kobe's going to be out of position. Mbeumo will be out of position as well. You know? So just that alone is why Amram needed to be sacked. So you saying what Kobe family did was okay. It was pathetic. I never said it was okay what he did. Listen to what I'm saying. I said at the start, I said the fact that he became manager versus player was a problem because it should never be that, yeah? But the problem is that when you've got an academy player coming through the youth, yeah, and he's been hailed as, you know, one of United's best up-and-coming stars, and you've got a manager that, you know, didn't respect him as a youngster, didn't respect his play, and has basically alienated him from the lineup. You know, his entourage are going to come out and they're going to defend the player. And unfortunately, it did become Kobe versus Amorim, which is the problem. But at the end of the day, Amorim's been sacked and he should have been sacked last season. It's that simple, you know. Yeah, the free Kobe t-shirts, yeah, is childish. I agree. I think it's childish, you know, and I don't really get involved in that rubbish because the fact that Man United are having, you know, family members doing that, it's become childish. But what you need to realise is that it should never have got to that in the first place because Ineos should have intervened earlier to say to Amorim, look, and I believe they did at the end, yeah? But Ineos needed to intervene earlier and let Amorim know that we've got a youngster here that, you know, you need to be using. But Amorim didn't care about playing Kobe Mino. He didn't. And that's where ultimately he failed. Because you don't alienate a youngster that we're being told time after time that it's about youth, courage, and success at this club. So again, man, I don't agree with the t-shirts, etc. But the facts are, Cobby's still here and Amarim's gone. It's that simple. And let's get behind Cobby and see what and see how his career can progress. That should be the main thing. So he had to shoehorn players in, couldn't play Ahmad in right 10. But this is the problem, Sefer. This is the problem, yeah. Ahmad is a number 10. He's a number 10. But he's played so much of his career out wide. People will obviously look at him as a wide player now as well, which is fair. But he's a number 10 naturally, and he's a wide player. So if you're looking at the system that the 3-4-2-1 that Ruben Amorim played, again, people think it's a 3-4-3. It cannot be a 3-4-3 if you've got wingbacks. It was a 3-4-2-1. So if you're looking at the 3-4-2-1, the closest position to how an Mbeumo plays, because Mbeumo's a wide forward. The closest position to how an Mbeumo plays is a wingback. The closest position to how Ahmad plays, is the right 10. The fact that Amorim played that played Ahmad as the wingback and Mbeumo as the right 10, it just shows you that Amorim didn't know what was going on, because you don't do that. When has Mbeumo ever played as a right 10? Never. When has Ahmad ever played as a wingback? Never. But the closest position to a winger is wingback. And that's where Mbeumo should have been playing, and Ahmad should have been in the right 10. So again, him shoehorning players in was the issue. And this is why you go back to if you go to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, you won't have that problem. Because Ahmad will either play as a 10 or on the right. Mbeumo will also play on the right. So at least you're going to have players playing in their actual positions, Foxy Danny says, do you think David Beckham would have been a good manager for Man United? No, he wouldn't have been. Like, Beckham was a great player, but he hasn't got no credentials as a coach, as a manager. So just leave Beck's man to do his own thing and, keep being an ambassador of the club. But in terms of him being Man United manager, no. This is what Man United keep making the problem with. I like Carrick because Carrick the player and Carrick as a coach, from what I've seen, I'm liking what he's done. But when people start shouting out names like Roy Keane and Roy Keane's not a good manager. He's not. And Roy Keane wouldn't do nothing for this team. People think that because Roy Keane, the way that he played and his attitude, he'll come and give a rocket up the arses of these players. This is what people will come and kind of say. But football's different now. So some of the names that are getting thrown about, the Roy Keanes and that, these guys ain't going to be good managers, man. There's a reason why Roy Keane is in the studio. So, yeah, these ex-Man United players, bar Carrick, I thought Van Nistelrooy done a good job at United when he was there. They're good. But Solskjaer's not a good manager. He's not. He's just a feel-good factor manager. Scholes, obviously, we know about Scholes' stint. Great player, but obviously not a good manager. And who else is there? I can't actually name you any good managers that Fergie's produced. There hasn't been one. But yeah, I like Carrick, to be fair. And I think if Carrick does a good job, there'll surely be a Premier League job coming his way, because, West Ham, are they going to part ways with Nuno if they get sacked? Former West Ham player as well. That could be there. Big up to United fan. Big up, my guy. Big up. No, what I am saying is formation isn't the problem. Yeah, listen, the three at the back wasn't an issue, but it wasn't an issue, and it was. It was an issue because the manager deployed certain players in positions that they shouldn't have been playing. It's that simple. But put it this way, yeah. If Amorim played the 3-4-2-1, but you had Ahmad in the right 10, Cunha left 10, Xerxes as the 9, or Sesko as the 9, and then you actually had proper wing backs. Again, the fact that he played inverted wing backs is a problem. I mean, there's inverted forwards. This manager thinks he's clever by playing inverted wing backs. Tell me where you've ever seen inverted wing backs. Doesn't make sense. You know, wing backs are normally playing on the same side as what foot they are. But this manager wants to play left-footed players as wing backs on the opposite side. If you're playing the final third as an attacker, then that works because, you know, you're going closer to goal. But playing inverted wing backs, he should have been sacked for that alone. That's what I'm trying to say to you. This manager just got it all wrong, man. You know, poor manager. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm not going to lie. I wanted Ollie, but I'm going to back Carrick and give him a chance. Yeah, I think a lot of fans wanted Ollie, but a lot of fans didn't want Ollie because of Ollie the coach. They just wanted Ollie because it's a feel-good factor. And this is where, yeah, like, this is where I think I differentiate between myself and a lot of fans because I want to see good football. Fans that want Ollie in just want Ollie to make them feel good. And I'm not of that opinion. I need a coach to come in and coach these players to get better. You know, and this is why the Carrick appointment for me was crucial, man. And it's a good appointment. We haven't got a deep quality squad. We have this season for one game a week. You know, 4-2-3-1. You've got, even though I don't rate Dallo, 2 right backs. You've got Mazraoui and Dallo. You've got 3 left backs. Dorgu, Shaw, Malacia. You've got Delict, Yoro, Maguire, Martinez, Heaven. 5 centre backs. You've got Casemiro, even though I don't rate Yagate. If you're going to put Kobe in there as well. 3 midfielders. Again, you probably say we're a bit light in midfield, but it's 1 game a week if he plays the right combination. You've got 2 right wingers, Ahmad and Mbuemo. And then you've got Shea Lacey as well. That's a youngster coming through. You've got Cunha can play out on the left. Mason Mount, who I don't rate, can play out there as well. In the 10s, you've got Bruno, who I don't rate, that can play in the 10. You've got Cunha can play in the 10. Ahmad can play in the 10. Xerxes can play in the 10. Mount can play in the 10. Kobe can play in the 10. And in the strikers, you've got Xerxes and you've got Sesko. So again, to say that we haven't got a deep quality squad isn't true. We've got 1 game a week and we've got more than enough to get ourselves into the Champions League. And then if we can get a midfielder in this window, a Baleba, then listen, I don't want to hear no excuses because I don't think people deep just how bad of a manager Ruben Amorim was and just how bad the system was in terms of the players that we had, you know. So, let's see, man. Guys, come on, make sure we're smashing the likes. We got 9 likes. Let's at least try and hit 10 as a minimum. And again, make sure you're subbing to the channel if you're new in here as well. To think that Spurs have signed Conor Gallagher as well, thank God. I mean, the amount of fans that I've seen, yeah, that wanted Conor Gallagher. And this is part of the problem, yeah. I don't generally think there's a lot of fans out there that are even too fussed with how Manchester United play. I think the fact that I was hearing Conor Gallagher because apparently we're light in midfield. If we are light in midfield, doesn't mean we go and get a Conor Gallagher. Like I'd argue that with anyone. Like the amount of people that I've seen saying Conor Gallagher should have been signed, yeah, and it was obviously being pushed by Ruben Amorim, yeah. The fact that Ineos just vetoed that deal, that's another positive for me because there was no way, yeah, that I was gonna be satisfied watching Conor Gallagher in midfield. To think that this manager wanted Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, all in one team with Yagate, yeah. Listen, this manager was trying to sabotage the club, man. So the fact that Gallagher's going Tottenham, I mean, Tottenham fans must be pulling their hair out, man, because that's an underwhelming signing, man, bringing in Conor Gallagher. Had Ruben been here next summer, Kobe would have gone. It's mad. But again, Kobe was never going, man. He was never going. Like I was confident Kobe was never going. You know, it was always going to be Amorim. It was always going to be him. Big up to Foxy Danny says predictions for next Man U game. Obviously, our next game is Manchester Derby. You know, I'm kind of conflicted, like I said yesterday, because again, Man United is my team, but you know, if City do beat United, then it puts the pressure back onto Arsenal before they go and play Forest, and obviously they're playing tomorrow against Chelsea in the cup. But listen, the fact that Carrick's here, I just hope United put on a good display. You know, if United put on a good display and we don't win the game, because I think City are the favourites, you know, then at least there's something to look forward to, you know. But I'm gonna say 3-1, 3-1 City. Yeah, I'm gonna say 3-1 City. You know. Ashley Daniels says, "Why you skip my question?" Listen, I don't even know what your question was. I didn't even see your question, man. Gav, I want to experience the glory days too, bro. I've never seen it. Yeah, listen, I think you got a bit of a way to go for that, man. Because listen, I've experienced my team, Man United, winning. So this is why, man. Myself, I know the standards, and it wasn't Ruben Amorim. So the fact that Carrick's been appointed, you know, we need to be positive, man. We definitely need to be positive. Ronaldo or Messi? Messi, easy. Not even a debate, man. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi, easy. Who picks Spurs over Villa, by the way? Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. Maybe he's looking at the fact that he'll probably get more game time at Spurs because, to be fair, Villa's midfield of Boubacar Kamara, Tillemans, and Onana, and you got guys like McGinn that can play in there as well. That's a very good midfield. And the fact that they were trying to get Conor Gallagher, yeah, they've actually dodged a bullet because I reckon they might go in for someone else. I reckon they're going for someone else. We're going to get smashed 5-1, Gav. Nah, it won't be that much, man. It won't be that much. Gutted that Ollie isn't at the wheel. And you know what makes me laugh here? The fact that you're a Liverpool fan is because, you know, with Ollie in charge, we were never going to be serious. So, well done to Ineos, man. You know, they've had a lot of negatives this season. Ruben Amorim being one of them, taking too long to sack him. But the fact that they've made this appointment is music to my ears, man. Because I was actually getting worried it was going to be Solskjaer, because I just don't understand why the Solskjaer one was being talked about. But the fact that they've actually gone for Carrick is positive. I remember watching Anderson play for United as a kid. Them days were good. Yeah, listen, Anderson was, if anyone remembers, yeah, Anderson was, he was being compared to the new Ronaldinho when he was coming through. Again, they got that totally wrong. Different kind of players. But Anderson was very talented, man. Very talented midfielder. You know, part of the Champions League winning team as well. So, yeah, Anderson was good, man. I see Villa. Oh, Edison. Do you know what? Big up to United fan. Is that been mentioned? Villa going for Edison. I tell you now, if they get Edison, yeah, I'll go as far and say that they're looking to be in there to the end for this this league title, because Edison adding him to that midfield, you know, he's quite similar to Boubacar Kamara in a sense. And if you've got a midfield of Kamara, Onana, Tillemans, Edison, listen, that'll be interesting. Guys, has anyone got any links that okay, so he's linked to the Prem teams, yeah, Villa, United, and Brighton. Hey, Villa get Edison, man, that would be a very good signing. So United are 3 points off 4th, 3 points off 12th. A run of winless games could change everything. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it, man. Yeah, let's see what happens, innit? We have to be positive because yeah, it's I say Carrick's in now. And it's good news, man. I can't say it's not. I can't say it's not. But guys, listen up. We're going to wrap it up anyway. Big up to everyone for coming through. Make sure you smash the like button and make sure you sub to the channel as well. And yeah, listen. Michael Carrick, new Manchester United interim head coach until the end of the season. And what's positive as well is that... nah, big up, man. No worries. What's positive as well is that Carrick understands it's to the end of the season, you know, and if he does a good job, then, as I said, man, it'll be one of them things where we can look at it and say, yeah, it's been the right appointment, and then he might go and get another job elsewhere. So, yeah, man, let's see what happens. But the Carrick appointment's good news, man. Good news, regardless of what many might say. It's definitely good news. So let's see what happens. But guys, I'm going to be back possibly tomorrow. Not sure what time yet. But obviously Friday, going to do the match preview. I want to go through with you guys to see what team Carrick's going to put out. Because I'll be honest with you, yeah, I don't know what team he's going to play. But I think there's going to be a few changes, you know. But yeah, make sure you guys come through. Obviously, as always, keep an eye on my notification, on your notification to see when I go live. I'm not sure what time I'll be going live yet. And again, guys, obviously got the Manchester Derby on the weekend. But after that, we got Arsenal, guys. So I'm going to be doing a live watch-along for the Arsenal game. And I'm going to have Fitz come on. And I'm going to have Owen from B2R Sports as well coming on. And again, if there's any Arsenal fans that want to come on and do the live watch-along with us as well, let me know. It'll be an interesting one. It'll be good. And... again, hopefully, Man United can pick up some points, man, in these next 2 games. But let's see, man. Gav, I'm not starting this weekend again, by the way. I'm fuming. Yeah, listen, big up, man. All I would say, man, is just keep your head up. And, you know, when you get your opportunity, if you do come on, then you got to take it, you know. But the worst thing you can do, because obviously, you know, they'll be looking at attitude, these managers. So... if you're gonna go there sulking, or you know you're gonna go there and you know with your head down, they're gonna sense that. So all I would say, I know it's frustrating not starting, but just keep your head up, keep in good spirits, and then when you get your chance, just take it, man. That's all it is. That is all it is. But guys, listen up. I'm gonna wrap it up. But as I said, make sure you smash the like button on your way out. Make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you share the channel as well. And as I said, I should be back tomorrow or Thursday, but definitely Friday. And yeah, we'll get into it, man. But big up to Michael Carrick, man. Let's hope Carrick can get us into the Champions League, you know, come the end of the season. It's a must. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But big up to all the mods each and every time. Big up to all the newcomers. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you in a bit. Take it easy.